Hello and welcome back to Azure Terraformer. Today we have some code refactoring in HCL with Packer. There was a talk that I gave recently at the HashiCorp user group in Columbus, Ohio. And one of the audience members had some questions about how I was breaking up my apt-get installs. In particular, he was curious why I broke each installation into its own separate script provisioner. And my answer at the time was, well, it's so that when I'm debugging and testing, I can see which one fails, right? And you would be surprised, but sometimes apt-get just absolutely fails. And so I found it useful that I would at least know which one failed so that I could put a breakpoint and see how I could debug it. This is a general technique that I use when I try and organize my Packer files to keep things related together. So I don't do this just blindly, like every line of script has to be in its own provisioner. Absolutely not. But I'll take you through a few examples and show you my thought process about why I group things the way that I do. Let's look at the code. So I'm going to look at the Packer template for Minecraft, which we recently refactored a little bit using some constant variables or locals. So some of it's been cleaned up a bit, but you can see here I'm installing curl, I'm installing wget. Let's see here, I'm installing unzip. Now unzip, for whatever reason, when I was prepping for my talk at the Hug, unzip was just not having a great time, and this thing would fail all the time. I'd get Debian errors like crazy, just trying to get this package, and it basically would said it could not locate the package, and it's like, this is unzip, this is not some weird package, but yeah, whatever reason. So we got grep. What else we have? Screen, OpenSSL, and then here we go. We have, this is not an apt-get install. We're actually using Debian package to install the package. Now notice this is several lines. I could have split this up into a script file. Let's create a folder called scripts. Let's say, what do we want to do this? Install lib ssl 1.1.sh. And I could absolutely take these 3 lines of code and I could put them in there. Of course, I'd have to get rid of all the double quotes. I don't need to add sudo, because when I execute this script file as using my provisioner, the script is going to get executed under this under the sudo identity. So if I go back to my build. So instead of using inline, I can declare a provisioner, execute command, local.execute command, and then the script is just going to be the script file, which is in my scripts folder, right? So I could do this. And this would be an alternative to having everything inline. So this is somewhat cleaner. And then this script file I could then use and embed in other projects, and it wouldn't be as much copy pasta of copying the inline scripts. So in this case, yeah, I think it's a bit of a judgment call. Do you want to leave it as an inline, or do you want to extract it into its own bash script? That's one consideration that you have to do here. Likewise here, I got this going on. Now here, I'm using some dynamic local variables. And so if I were to extract this as a script, then I would want to think about how I executed that script. And I'd need to pass in, because those scripts are not going to be, the string interpolation that I'm doing here with the $ and the curly is not going to work inside of a script file. So if I was going to do this. Let's set up a new script, set up Minecraft. Let's prefix this with Minecraft user setup. Okay. Now, if I were to do this, I would need to, let me open to the side. Otherwise, this is going to take forever. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, I cannot use string interpolation here. Okay, so I have to remove that. Now, I can use an argument, and in Bash, you can pass in an argument when you call the script, and specify the $1 sign. The $1 sign is for the first, or $1 is for the first argument. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So in order to replace this, I'm going to have to call my script, and I'm going to say scripts, and I'm going to say Minecraft user setup.sh. And to pass an argument, it's very simple. I would just add a space and put in that value, and that would be the first argument. Now let me check the provisioner documentation. I think I have that open. Yeah. So if I go look at my provisioners documentation, let's go look at my provisioners. Let's go look at shell. I want to make sure there's not like another argument, another way of executing, like an attribute, right? So inline, scripts, binary, environment vars. So I could set so this is an array of strings, an array of key value pairs, and the format should be blah, 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 blah. And Packer injects some environment variables. So that could be a fun way of doing it, and that might be actually the way that I should go. Because I'm not super confident that Packer's gonna accept a parameter here. But basically what I'm saying is like I could pass in, if I use this environment vars, right? Here I'm not going to pass it in as an argument, okay? But I am going to pass it in this environment vars place. So we'll say environment vars equals an array, and it's a comma equal sign delimited. So what do we call this? Minecraft. What is this? The home dir, right? So Minecraft home equals. I think that's what it wants. So I want the key value pair, and then okay. So if we were going to have more than one of these, we would, in our array, we would just have another line that says foo equals bar, right? And then we would have an environment variable called foo. So over in our script, I can go echo foo, right? Because I'm passing in, and it'll literally print out bar. And then here, I'm gonna use Minecraft home environment variable, because that's gonna get passed in. So this is a good way of leveraging HCL's interpolation techniques to inject values into scripts. So I can encapsulate a script, but then I can pass in like dynamic values, maybe even variables that are being inputted to the Packer command line into the bash script that I reference as a file here. So this is also a good technique. I don't need that actually, so we're just going to close that out. Okay, this one's pretty wild, right? And again, this is another thing that I could probably collapse into one big script. So I could take all this out and drop this in instead of calling this the Minecraft user setup, just make one big script, and all of this all like this script right here, and this script right here, all of this is related to installing Minecraft. So there's really no reason why this couldn't all be, collapsed into one.
A few moments later.
Okay, this looks pretty good. So let's go back here. Now I can collapse this down. I don't need this anymore. Now, there's some order of operations here that I absolutely need. So, I mean, if I move this here, right, like before I set up Minecraft, before I run my setup Minecraft script, I'm going to rename this just Minecraft setup here. All right. Then now this file is going to be where it needs to be in the temp directory when we show up. And my script, I'm going to need another environment variable. I'll just call this Minecraft temp. And we're going to pipe in the temp directory here. So again, I'm able to use those constant variables. This isn't magic, okay? And now I can drop this into my script. And then I just need to, instead of using Minecraft, I think we're actually copying the Minecraft home. And Minecraft home. Ooh, double dollar. And then Minecraft temp. Okay, so now we've got that. We're looking good. And I can get rid of this provisioner, right? And now the file provisioner, I kind of have to move that up. So let's put the file provisioner there. Let's go back down. And now that file is in the correct location, I can take this script, which is going to be related to the stop, like copying the stop script, and we'll put this in here.
A few moments later.
Get rid of that provisioner. We have another file we have to drop, and now I can take this.
A few moments later.
So we have consolidated a lot of this stuff. Now, another cool thing about file, okay, we have sources. There's a technique that you can do with file where instead of doing a single file, I can drop a whole bunch of files. So if I pass in an array of strings, I can give it a destination and it'll copy all those files there. So I just need to change this from sources, and then I need to change it to an array. And now I can add a whole bunch of files, and I need to make sure this is a folder. Otherwise we're going to have problems. And now I can collapse these files into a single provisioner to make sure all the files are there. And they're all going to that temp directory. So we know where everything's going to be. Stage files. So we're going to stage files to the Minecraft temp directory. Then we're going to run the installation for Minecraft, and then we're going to do a sysprep, and that's it. So we just refactored our Minecraft installation. Now, what else could we refactor here? One of the audience member, back to that audience member comment, one of the audience member was like, well, why do you have all of these in separate ones? With apt-get, this is something that you can do with apt-get. I could just string these along and just use a space to delineate them, and apt-get would install all of the things. So we're going to further refactor this into a single line.
A few moments later.
And yeah, and then the idea that this audience member had, as we were talking about this after the talk, was just to extract this like list of apt things, and then we could pass that in as a variable. So down here we'll just say variable packages. Maybe we call it apt packages. Type equals string. Probably would not want to set a default because you never know what you're going to get there. And then we use string interpolation to get apt packages in here.
A few moments later.
This would allow us to have a very reusable provisioner that would do all the things to set up, to run apt-get, apt-update, clean, and then we do an install of an n number of packages. And as long as we don't have any special repositories or things like that, this is going to work great. So yeah, so what do you think? What do you think about the refactoring that we just did? Do you like the new version of the file with the files consolidated in the file provisioner, the Minecraft installation extracted into a script that again is much more portable now? We can move this script around as long as we have these environment variables set. This is going to run. So we could test the script locally. We could test the script in a container. We could do whatever we wanted with this script, as long as the contract is met. Which is we have these two environment variables set. This script should execute no problem. And then last thing, we just run our sysprep and we're done. So what do you think? Do you like this refactoring? If you do, smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and smash that bell to be notified of my next video when it drops. Thanks again. Hope you enjoy this stuff, and we'll see you next time on Azure Terraformer.